Just waiting for the presentation to be uploaded. We'll be doing the and all right. My name is Tapelo Pitso, and like I said, we'll all be doing integers together, strengthening and reinforcing what we have learned in grade 7 and grade 8. We'll be performing calculation involving all our 4 operations. That involves the squares and the square roots. We are just going to strengthen the concept of what is a square, what is a square root. We are also going to reinforce the understanding of cubes and cube roots in integers. Right, that's why I'm saying do it yourself. Analyze the table here. Let's check the second row where we start with number, it's 1. Now, in the first column, we've got our numbers 1, 2, and 3. Let's check our second column and let's see what is happening there. We can see is 1 multiplied by 1 gives us 1. Always link it to the number. What is happening to the number? And that number 1 is being multiplied. And that number 1 is being multiplied to itself. And that number 1, how many times is it multiplied to itself? Number 2 as well, let's check. Our number 2 is 2 multiplied by 2. What is happening to that number? That number is multiplied itself how many times? And what is the product? You get 1. The second one, the number multiplied by itself gives you 4. The third one, 3 multiplied by 3 gives you 9. And you still remember the products of that number, 1 and 1. We call them squares. 2 and 2 give you square 4. 3 and 3 gives you square 9. Remember where it's coming from. Remember the number. Remember the root. Where are the square numbers coming from? They are coming from these numbers. Same thing, we can go to, again, assess and analyze what is happening. Number multiplied by the same number multiplied by the same number. In other words, this number multiplying itself 3 times. We all same thing when we go to 2. 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2. The same number that 2 multiplied 3 times. The number multiplied itself 3 times. The number multiplied itself 2 times. It's a square. Number multiplied itself, it's a square 2 times. Number multiplied by itself 2 times, a square. Number multiplied by itself 3 times, it's a cube. In other words, the product will give you a cube. But check, where is this coming? Check. What is the root? What is the foundation of that number? It's 1 in this case. So what is the root of square 1 is 1. What is the cube root of 1 is 1. What is the square root of 4 is 2, that number. What is the cube root of 8 is 2, that number, the foundation. What forms that number? What is the cube? What number gives you this cube 27? Is the number 3, which is the root. Therefore, the cube root of 27 is 8. So that is very important. Now, at least you have a stronger understanding what we mean by a square, what we mean by the cube. It's very, very important to understand those. Again, here in the different picture, same thing. That number by itself gives you 4. That number squared, that number by itself gives you 9. 3 by 3 gives you 9, which is 3 squared. And look at the foundation. The foundation is 2. The foundation is 3. The foundation is 4. The foundation is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The pattern, the pattern or the plan is 5. It's made of the 2 number which is 2. Square root is 2. Number is 3. What is the root is 3. What forms that 9 is 3. Same thing, that is how we understand our square root and cube root. Square number multiplied by itself 2 times gives you a square. Cube number multiplied itself 3 times, it's a cube. And what forms that number, what numbers are going to multiply, that is your root, the foundation of that number. And I'm sure now it's strengthened. Remember, in mathematics, in life, you always have rules. Our rules of driving in mathematics is BODMAS. When you start working out calculations, you start first in the bracket. And then you'll be going to your orders, in other words, the squares, the exponents, the cube root, the square root. That is the order. Then next thing is division and multiplication. We move from left to right, remember. Whichever comes first, we deal with it between the two. If multiplication comes first, we deal with it before division. Same with addition and subtraction. Right. In other words, here we will be working in the brackets, working out the brackets. But in the brackets, we check now when we start in the brackets. What comes first? It's a division from left to right, which is 64 divided by 4. It's a 16. I'm sorry. 16 divided by 4. 64 divided by 4 is 16. Now we go further. Subtraction cannot come from multiplication. Therefore, we need to do with multiplication according to BODMAS. That's why we'll say -4 multiplied by 2 is -8. We are still in the bracket. Therefore, 16 minus 8 is your 8. And then your 8 squared is 64. Same thing here. We work first in the bracket. 8 minus 4 is a 4. Then your exponential form, 4 squared is 16. 64 minus 60. Therefore, that BODMAS is important. Otherwise, we won't understand you in the language of mathematics if we apply same rule. Like in South Africa, when we drive, we keep left. In other countries, they keep right. Therefore, conventionally, this is the rules that we're following, that we understand, that will always be using in mathematics. Now let's see with our knowledge now of BODMAS. Remember your bracket. Work first in the bracket. Work in the bracket. From there, we'll see our next step. In the bracket, your 6 squared is 36 minus 4. But remember, in terms of BODMAS, multiplication comes before subtraction. Therefore, we must multiply first in that case. Hence, we say, okay, 36 minus 20. Then, still in the bracket, we still have to deal with what is in the bracket. Hence, we'll say 36 minus 20 is 16 divided by 4 plus 11. You can't say 4 plus 11. Remember BODMAS, 16 divided by 4, which gives you 4 plus 11 is 15. Then we'll be doing the same thing because we'll be following the same rules. Otherwise, we're going to get different things and we won't understand each other. Therefore, BODMAS is very crucial in our mathematics. Same thing here is your squares here, is your square root here. Where do you start? Your order, your squares, and then you come into the root. Let's see. Therefore, 7 squared is 49. Then we go to the next one. Square root of 64 is 8. Just a mistake there. 64 is 8. And then cube root of 1 is 1. 49 minus 4 is 45 plus 1, which is 46. An apology here, the square root is 64. But the point here is, how do we work at BODMAS? Again, we start first your bracket. Therefore, you have to deal with what is in the bracket first. 3 squared is 9. 4 squared is 16. Right? In the bracket, 19 plus 16 is 25. Then 25 minus 5 is 20. Just your bottomers, emphasizing your bottomers, working with your square roots, working with your squares, simplifying, but remember we are using that rule of bottomers. Same thing here, we're just trying to emphasize what comes first is a bracket. Therefore, we need to work in the bracket first. 5 squared is 25, multiplied by 4. We are still in the bracket. Yes, that side, because we are not going to use that one calculation. We can also get square root of 16 is 4. But remember, we start in our bracket. Therefore, 25 multiplied by 4 is 100, and 100 divided by 4 now is your 25. Just an emphasizing of your bottomers. Same thing here. We start from left to right. You can start with the bracket of your exponents. As long as you are not going to deal with subtraction before your brackets or your exponents. 5 cubed, 125. Minus, therefore we have to go and work in the brackets. 5 squared, 25. Square root of 25 is minus 5 plus 25. Now we work inside in a bracket. 25 minus 5 is 20, and 20 plus 25 is 45. Therefore, 125 minus 45, which is your 80. Just emphasizing your bottomers, using your squares and your cubes. Square root of 16, square root of 125, cube root of 125. Just remember when you look at a watch, what is your top number? Square root of 144, which is 12. Square root of 1 is 1. Square root of 4 is 2. Square root of 9 is 3. Foundation of 16 is a 4. Foundation of 25 is a 5. The root of 36, what make 36 a square number? It's a 6. What make 49 a square number? It's a 7. What makes 64 a square number is 8. And what make 81 a square number is 9. And 100 a square number is 10. And 121 a square number is 11. Emphasizing our square roots, squares, and cube roots. Let's see further now. Estimate, you always estimate. When you go to shops and buy, estimate. You want to be near things. Now here we'll be checking. A square garden has an area of 144 square meters. Square meters. Remember, 144 is your square meters. Now we want the foundation. What is the length of one side? What makes that square? What is the root of 144? That is estimate there. Remember, area is a product, and what forms that area? The root, the foundation, the length. That's what we're looking for. Is it 110 by 10? Nearly is closer. We are trying to estimate. You can estimate and work it out. Is it 121? 11 by 11? 121? It's nearer. We are getting there. Just estimation. Is 13 by 13? 13 gives us 169. It's bigger than 144. You can estimate and work it out as a way of strengthening your calculations in terms of math. And of course, our length is 12. Our square root, the foundation, what makes a square number 144 is your root, which is 12, which is our length of that square. Again, we continue, always estimate in the shops, you just estimate everywhere, check roughly what comes closer to 121. A square garden has an area of 121 square meters. A cube-shaped box has a volume of cubes. In other words, you've got a square and a cube. The question is, which has a larger side length? The garden or the box? In other words, what makes this square? What makes this cube? That's what you're going to do. We want to check which one is long. Remember, your area is a product. And what is the root? What is the foundation of it? It's 11 meters. Now we know it already. Now let's check in terms of 27. What is a volume? The product of the roots, which is 3 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 3. Now, clearly, which one is bigger, which one is larger in length, is of course your 11 meters. Say for a square garden has that area, which one has a larger side of length? It's your square area. Thank you very much and good luck. I hope we have enjoyed. We have strengthened our squares, our cubes, our square roots, and our cube root. Good luck further. Thank you for attending the lesson.